You're a part of In the Trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics, emanating from our outstanding studios as always. I'd like to talk a little bit about the death of Franco Harris. Franco Harris might have been as good a human being as walked God's green earth here. I mean, this guy, not only a great football player, but an unbelievable humanitarian, cared about his fellow man, and that was very, very generous, gave back to the community. Franco Harris died way, way too young. And tragically, I mean, he was on radio talking about how excited he was about the upcoming retirement of his jersey. They had never reassigned number 32. Nobody else had worn it, but they didn't officially retire it until this past weekend. And he was so excited about what was going to take place. Franco Harris loved a good party. He could throw a good party, and he was excited to spend time with his friends and family and get that jersey retired in his honor. They'd retired Ernie Stautner's jersey, number 70, Joe Green's jersey, number 75, but had not retired Franco's. But they did. But he wasn't here to appreciate it. But in my mind, he knew. He knew it was happening. So I think I'm sure Franco's family thanks the good Lord that he did at least have an understanding of what was going on. He's on the radio, and 2 hours after he does this radio show, he passes away. Just a real tragedy. I go way back in the Franco Harris Admiration Society. When I was a sophomore at Syracuse University in 1972, Franco Harris and Lydell Mitchell were in the backfield for Joe Paterno's Penn State Nittany Lions. Franco Harris was the fullback. Franco Harris was the blocking back. The star running back was Lydell Mitchell, who was a first-round draft pick by the Baltimore Colts, the then Baltimore Colts. And Franco was kind of like, he was a great player, but he didn't get all the glory that Lydell Mitchell got. But boy, once they got to the National Football League, Franco Harris just took off. I mean, 6'2", 230-pound guy that could really run. And he was great at not necessarily hitting the hole right at the point of attack all the time. He would get in that I formation and put his hands on his hips and look up, look around, and almost pick a hole before predetermined that it's not going to be there based on what I see defensively at the design hole that's called for this play. I'm going to cut it back, or I'm going to bounce it. And, he was heavily criticized about ducking out of bounds, avoiding contact, and that sort of thing. But, man, I'll tell you what, that guy was special football player. He could catch it. He could run it. And, of course, the Immaculate Reception was just an unbelievable play. Frenchie Fuqua gets blown up by Jack Tatum, and Franco Harris catches the football just off the fingertip catch off the ground. Back then, two offensive players could not touch the football simultaneously. A defensive player would have to touch it in between. And they didn't think that Jack Tatum touched the football. They thought it went right from Frenchie Fuqua to Franco Harris, and that was the big problem that the Oakland Raiders, John Madden, and all the players had with the outcome of that play. But that started the turnaround. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they lost to the undefeated Miami Dolphins in the playoffs, but that victory got them into the playoffs against the Oakland Raiders, and the rest is history. They won 4 Super Bowls when Franco Harris was on that roster, and Joe Green was the first one to say the most important player on our football team. Biggest reason we turned around, started winning football games, was when Franco Harris came to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Just an amazing football player, an amazing human being. And saw him, he was our big rival, Syracuse, Penn State, and a big rival, Cincinnati Bengals, when we played the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they were winning the Super Bowls, and we were splitting with them. We'd split games with them. We weren't even a playoff team, and they were winning Super Bowls, and somehow we'd beat them one out of the 2 games when we were playing those years. And nothing but respect and admiration for the type of football player and the type of human being Franco Harris was. And he left a lasting impression, a lasting imprint. Franco Harris will be remembered forever.
Dave Lapham here, and every day I am grateful for my experience to have played professional football. As a player, I realized self-motivation, leadership, and appreciating your teammates are key. At First Star Logistics, you can use those same attributes to create the life you want for you and your family. Build your future by working hard like I did. You'll see results both on and off the field. Call First Star Logistics today and be part of our winning team.
Opportunity knocking.